welcome to the first layout for the month of June for Kitaholic Kits. It's Helen here, by the way, in case you can't tell. I've started off by getting out the mixed media kit, wetting this piece of basil cardstock. I use the marshmallow cardstock. It's supposed to be thicker, well it is thicker, and for mixed media, but somehow I still manage to warp it most times. Anyway, I just spritz water before I sprayed the shimmer sprays from Dilution because the water allows it to mix and move around the page. Sopped it up with paper towel, added some sprinkles and went, oh, that's just a little bit too bright for what I had in mind today. So I pulled out some white paint and thought I will mute it down. Of course, the shimmer sprays are reactive to water, so I ended up with a nice mauve page with some other splotches behind it. Not quite what I was going for. So I set that piece of paper aside, pulled out a brand new piece of white cardstock, and this time I thought, what about if I actually add the shimmer spray to the white paint and then use a spatula and just spread it around the page like normal. There's no theory behind how I'm adding this stuff. No planning, no nothing. I just slap it onto the page and see what happens. I've ruined a few pages this way, but I've also created some really good backgrounds this way too. So I added some sprinkles of the shimmer spray in Calypso Teal, one of my favourite colours. I was so happy when Steph put that one into the mixed media kit. And this stencil is also in the media kit for this month. So as you can see, I pulled out some distress ink in a mauvey colour and thought, right, some splotches of that around. And then I'll sprinkle some of the pink around. I think it's bubblegum pink, another one of my favourite ones in the Dilutions range. Right, now what? Didn't really like it, just plain like that. So I thought I'd trim it down and stick it on a piece of the pattern paper from the main kit. There is one pattern paper, and I don't know what the name of it is, but you'll see it, this one right here, and I love the colour. It's like my favourite sheet in this month's kit, and of course the one I had to use first. I've just taken the middle out because that way I can use that to back photos and do a few other things with on this layout. And then now I'm happy to begin. I like that pop of the dark teal around it. I probably said this before, but I like to have my layouts with an edge or a border. So I either do it with patterned paper or I draw it or something. But this month, patterned paper. Well, this layout, who knows what will happen next layout. And then thought, right, now what? Luckily for me, one of my friends was visiting yesterday, and when her daughter was a bit younger, she had a mermaid party, and she was looking at the kits, and I went, do you know what? Those photos would be perfect. So here are photos of Georgia when she was 9 for her mermaid party. Perfect colours for this layout. It's like it was made for it, which is very lucky considering that I've never dressed my boys as mermaids. Anyway, back to the layout. I decided I wanted a bit more of the mauve colour. I actually quite liked the mauve I made on the first layout. It just wasn't what I wanted all over the whole page. Eventually, after adding a little bit colours, I added some of the mauve, mainly over where I did the stenciling, because that wasn't quite the right shade of purple. My thinking always is that, you add something, and if you don't like it, well, it just means you've got to keep building and making and creating until you get to a point where you do like it. So, as you can see, just splatting it on. Now, this is where that first sheet did come in handy because it allowed me to mat the photos and just get just a little tiny bit of that colour. You'll see it comes in handy in a little bit as well. And then I pulled out that piece that I cut out the middle just to add another border around the photos. I like to tie in the colours from that outside border and around the photo. I find it just adds cohesion to the page and I like it. So anyway, a little bit of trimming so I get just a fine border, and then I was like, that skirt is so pretty with all the scales. What about if I make some scales for my page? And after a bit of ferreting, I found this really, really, really old stencil, kind of. Anyway, it has these ovals on it. No joke, I'm sure it's going to be about 15 years old. Never used. It was still in its sealed package. And I used it to trace around the teal paper, the vellum paper that comes in the main kit, just gorgeous, and some of that other background that I made, so that I could create some scales on my page. You may have noticed I quickly put that vellum paper behind the photos because I thought maybe it would add another layer, but it wasn't quite the look I was going for. So anyway, there you go, 2 lines of scales for my page. Also included in the main kit is a little bag with some bits and pieces in it. There's always little bits and pieces in. I love that about the kits. And there was this gold sequin strip and some other punched pieces and a couple of doilies. But I just thought that gold sequin strip's just finishing off the top of the scales perfectly. Now I backed my photo with some fun foam, and I just had to trim it there so that it sat nicely over that gold sequined piece of strip there. And you can see I've pulled out one of the doilies. I position it, then when I take away the photo, I just quickly add some tape underneath it so it doesn't move and it's still in that same spot. And then this where luckily I edit these videos a lot, because there's a spot here where I was thinking, well, now what do I do? I got to this point and I wasn't quite sure. So I thought, okay, start with the title. I love this alphabet set. I mean, the colours, these colours are my favourite colours. I love this whole creating of this today. And when my friend saw the kit yesterday, she was like, Helen, this one was made for you. It's the perfect colours. And then I started going through all the embellishments. So in the main kit comes this embellishment pack. And you can also see there, I forgot to mention, I added some of the washi tapes, or washi tape from this washi tape book. And I just cut one so that it's on one side of the photo and a little bit on the other side of the photo, because it says chase rainbows, ride a unicorn, swim with mermaids. Had to use it. And here you can see I'm just pulling out more pieces or die cuts from the embellishment pack, trimming bits of them, working out where I want them and building as I'm going. And thankfully I found those pink flowers in the embellishments, because I wanted some kind of flower and I'd gone through things and I just wasn't happy with it until I found those. Now that one I'm just working on now, it had 2 leaves that were straight, and I wanted it more at a 90-degree angle, so I just cut one of the leaves off, positioned it and stuck the flower over the top. You can't really tell, and it just blends in and does exactly what I want that way. Another strip of washi tape, another flower from the die cut pack, and then more embellishing. You can see a little mermaid's popped its way up, and that yellow down the bottom, it just was too bright for me. I didn't like it, so unfortunately I forgot to film it. I added some more embellishments and pieces to finish off. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.